Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Thank you for taking time today to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy, and welcome to our home in the Lone Star Community Radio Studios housed here in Conroe Tower and in the county where the official flag of the Lone Star State was born. I'm Randy Weldon along with Robert Helmer, and sequestered back in the safe room / sound booth is our sound engineer and producer Dick Schischler. I got it. We are broadcasting from Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM and streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Again, I'm Randy Weldon, and this guy...
I'm Robert Helmer, and hello, everyone. We are the host of today's show and Cruisin, and on today's show we have Frank, Lawton?
Lawton, that's correct, yep.
Lawton. He is the organizer of the 2024 Sturgis Mustang Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. So he's going to be zooming in for us. And so we'll have a great conversation about what's going on over there. Our second guest is going to be Jason Childress. Now, he also has something to do with Sturgis.
He's running all the track events out there this year. So yeah.
We're going to be discussing... the track events. Let's see. He oversees the track events, which includes autocross, open road courses, and drag racing events.
Yeah, they may also do the burnout. We'll have to ask them there. I know they have a burnout contest.
I'm sure they do
well.
With everything else going on over there. I'm sure they have plenty of other stuff too that they can bring up.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. His brother Lonnie used to be the driver of one of those like Bigfoot 2 or something. It was one of those big monster trucks.
Right. And another thing, we're definitely branching out. We've pretty much touched base with all the local car clubs and events, and we're still going to come up with some of the listings of stuff going on. But the show is definitely expanding. We're kind of going beyond our horizons a little bit to bring in people like over at Sturgis and talk about what's going on. You know, there was a poll that we did also. How far have you driven to get to a car show? And the last 2 days, you would not believe the distance that people have been driving to get to car shows. I'm talking all across the country.
What's the furthest you've seen so far?
And I didn't really write them down, but they've been all over the country.
Because I've driven over 1,100 miles to get to a car
right.
show.
Well, most of the Mustang Club of America people, the members, they do go all over the country. Even the people that are not in the Mustang clubs, they travel a couple of hours to get to a show, and that's kind of surprising. And they also make it vacation time.
Well, yeah, a lot of them do. I know this Cruising the Coast comes up every October.
Right, that's another big one.
You see people coming from all over the country to go to Cruising the Coast.
Right.
You know, they'll rent, houses down there and spend the week, and, just everybody gets together and has a really good time.
And one thing I was going to do is we had an event this weekend.
We did have, didn't we?
Yep. So
pretty impressive event, actually.
Thought we'd touch, back and do a little review of our cruise that we did. We went to the Sam Houston National Forest. We stopped at the Prison Museum in Huntsville. And this cruise was open to everyone, all cars, all car clubs. It didn't matter. Just come join. We started in Montgomery County. We had like 68 cars.
Yeah, I think there were 66 total.
Yeah.
We started in downtown Montgomery at the Brookshire Brothers grocery store parking lots where we started.
Right.
Most of the people there I didn't know.
Yeah.
That was like, wow, this is cool. We got all these new people.
Yeah. You had to go and introduce yourself to everybody because you didn't know them.
But trying to organize a cruise and trying to keep those people together.
Right.
To our designated next point. That's difficult.
Yep.
That is really difficult.
But It was hosted by Northside. Berlin is the one who was in charge of the cruise, and he did a great job. And no hiccups
Oh,
that
I'm glad Vernon. It'll swell that much more. Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
but no hiccups that I could see. We stopped at what was the cafe? The City Cafe?
City Diner or City Cafe?
I think
One
it was
of the two.
Cafe. Yeah,
in
right there in Huntsville. Had a great meal afterwards, so it was a great day.
But the first stop was in Anderson, Texas,
right.
where pretty much we filled up all of downtown. There was no place to
Did
park.
our photo shoot as normal. Everybody has to do the photo shoot
Yep.
there in Anderson at the courthouse.
There were cars though around the corner at the courthouse. I
Right.
noticed, that was way cool. It was just a lot of cars.
But we made sure we didn't park in front of the auto parts store.
Oh God, no! Last time all I was doing was sitting in the middle of the road in front of the auto parts store, and the guy called the police, who was a guy with a Mustang, the sheriff, who was at a car show out of town. So he called the mayor, who showed up. You know, anyhow, the mayor turned out to be a really great guy.
Yeah, he did.
And we were able to work something out to go to Anderson.
So if you happen to be on that cruise and you're not with the Northside people, the Northside Car Club, and you would like to either get to know them or actually join, they are actually having a dinner September the 20th, Friday night, 7 p.m. in Spring Creek Barbecue. And that is at 19099 I-45 North in Shenandoah, Texas.
Spring Creek Barbecue.
Yeah, just go by there and say hi if you did go on the cruise and get to know them.
Come in and meet everybody. But there's a if you want to eat dinner with us, I mean, obviously I'd grab dinner. But
Right.
there's a private room in the Spring Creek.
Right.
And we reserve that.
Right.
So that's where Northside will be holding the meeting.
Right. So you can hear all the things going on with Northside.
Absolutely.
So.
Got an upcoming car show, which we've been talking about every episode since we started.
Yep, and we just finished a commercial soundbite on that today.
Oh,
so
good.
hopefully you'll hear that pretty soon.
All right.
I just sent that. You remember Stephen Cruz of Speed Advocates?
Yeah, Stephen, yeah.
Yeah, he has a little Cruisin meet at Rudy's Barbecue. That's in Tomball. 24503 Tomball Parkway, and it's every Thursday night from what I understand.
Yeah, so tomorrow night.
Yeah. So go by Rudy's Barbecue and say hi to Stephen again.
He always gets a good turnout for that.
He gets a great turnout.
Packs that
So,
parking lot.
Speed Advocates. You can find them on Facebook.
And hey, what can you say? Rudy's a cooked meat market, man. You go by and order it by the pound and
Right.
grab a cot or lay out a bed in the back of your car and go to sleep for a little bit.
Yeah. And so let's move on to car shows. We got car shows coming up.
Nah, the fall's coming. We got car
Yeah.
shows. Oh,
And there are a lot of them in October now.
yeah. Well, because it's so freaking hot right now.
Yeah. October the 5th, Mustang Club of Houston, open car show. This is open to everything. It's going to be at Planet Ford. It's I-45. And let's see, October the 5th.
That's in Spring, Texas.
That's in Spring. Yeah, the Planet Ford in Spring on I-45. And October the 5th. Next one is Best Automotive is hosting a fall show, and it's open to everything also. And this is going to be in Kingwood, Texas at the Town Center. That's on Kingwood Drive and Lake Houston Parkway.
That show always gets rated really good.
Yeah, it does.
Both that and MCOH show.
Yeah. And then we have the Sam Houston Corvette Club. They were here as one of our guests.
They were.
And they are hosting a Corvette show. This is only Corvettes. And it's going to be in Woodlands Town Green Park. And
Which is right behind the amphitheater in Woodlands.
You know, there was 2 addresses for this.
Yeah, it was because there's 2 streets.
Is that what it is?
North and south side, but the amphitheater is on one side and the library is on the other side.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be, let's see.
It's where the War Memorial is there.
October
in
the
Woodlands.
27th. October the 27th at the Town Green Park. Corvettes only. If you'd like to enter, it's $40. You got to be there at 8:30. And the one address I got here is 2300 Lake Woodlands Drive.
That'll work.
So that should work.
Yeah, that'll get them there.
Okay. And then November the 4th, hosted by Northside, Lone Star Motor Madness Car Show. Where did that name come from?
Vernon.
That one? Okay. All right. That's going to be in New Caney, Texas, and Wolf Salis Park. And it's going to be hosted by the Northside Mustang Car Club.
Yeah, Bull Sellis Park's a nice little place.
It is.
He's got indoor parking, he's got covered parking, and he's got outdoor parking.
Yeah, it's a big facility. It's a nice facility. And one thing all these car shows that I just mentioned have in common.
What's
you
that?
can go see them at carshowfun.com and register at for either one of these shows.
You can register for all those shows there. You can get on there, register, put yourself in a class. Then once you show up, you just pay on site.
Right.
But you just get your number and go.
Yep. And if you want to, you can help judge. It's on your phone.
And that's where we hear crickets.
Now, there's another one that's going to be September the 21st, but this was not on carshowfun.com, but they should. But it's Wild Horse, the Wild Horse Mustang Car Club. It's hosting their fall open to everything car show at Silsbee Ford, Saturday, September the 21st. And the address I got here is 1211 Highway 96 North.
Yeah, that's it. It's right off the highway that goes up there to like Woodville. That's always a fun car show. The people are fun. They usually have their own.
Don't they
people
have a
out there.
famous DJ?
They do have the most.
Our own Randy is going to be the DJ.
The most famous unknown name you've ever heard. Yes.
And let's see, we've got one more. The October the 5th, the annual Halloween Classic Car Show. That's going to be at the National Museum of Funeral History, right off of I-45 over here.
Down near Airtex, yeah?
Airtex, yep.
That's Charles Williams, and I private messaged Charles, come on the show. Come in the studio,
right.
man.
Charles, if you don't come on the show, this is going to be the last time I'm going to mention this car show.
Actually, Charles, what we're going to do, you're a retired police officer now, so we can kidnap you, tie you up, and drag you into the studio. If you go missing for a couple of days since you're retired, who's going to know?
That's right. Okay, and this is the last one. Wolf Creek Park. This is always a beautiful scenery. It's a beautiful place. It's in Cold Springs. Wolf Creek Park. I forgot what highway it's on, but it's October the 19th and the 20th. This is a 2-day show. You leave your car there overnight. And so for more information, go to ColdSpringTexas.org. This is hosted by the Cold Spring Chamber of Commerce.
That's always a cool show. I mean, people rant and rave about that one as well.
Yeah, well, it's the scenery. It's just
it's
beautiful.
The scenery.
Out there.
That's
It's
right. The
there on
drive
lake.
out's gorgeous. Being there is gorgeous.
Right there on the lake.
Yep.
And let's see. Well, and kind of like review our last all of our guests that we've had so far. We've had about 8 podcasts now.
I think it's been 9 so far.
9.
Yep.
Okay, so we've had Stephen Cruz with Speed Advocates. That was great. We had the president of Mustang Club of America, Jeff Mays. He zoomed in. That was a great one. The Sam Houston Corvette Club. We had the president of him. We had them in here. The Conroe Cruisers. We've had them in here. Great shows. The Mustang Club of Houston. We had one of the founders, Chris Cruz, was here. Tell them the whole history of the Mustang Club.
We need to get Richard Jones in here, the current president of the club, to give us an update on the
That's another
MCOH.
person that needs to come in and talk to us.
Yep.
We've had Tiffany, the PR person of Gullo Ford.
Had Ashley from Habitat for Humanity.
And that was my next one on the list.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to grab from you. Let's not overlook Chris Josie with Josie's Racing
And
Team.
Josie's
who's in
Racing
here as well.
Team, right.
Well, an IHRA and NHRA licensed driver.
So if you miss these people, look at our last podcast and go to them. Like I said, we had 8 or 9 of them out there now. They're all great podcasts. Just go back and look in the library and look us up. Watch over the ones you missed, because there have been some great guests.
If you've got negative comments, send those to Robert. If you got positive comments, I'm open.
Right. Right now, we just want any comments. And one more event, MCA, speaking of Mustang Club of America, Grand National.
October, Savannah.
Yep. Savannah, the historic Savannah, Georgia, right?
Yep.
That's going to be October 11th, 12th, and 13th, right?
It's a good show, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, down in Savannah. Savannah's a beautiful setting. If you've never been there, and I know you haven't.
I haven't. No.
It's down on the downtown areas, right off the waterfront, and it's just old historic, like old brick or cobblestone or whatever they call those streets. The very wonderful kind of timeless stores, from yesteryear and stuff like that, mixed in with some of the current stuff.
And that's actually your home state, right?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania, but I did live there for like 18 years. Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay. And how far from Savannah was that?
That was about a 4-hour drive.
Oh, it was a 4-hour drive from
it's
Savannah.
not down the road. So,
Okay.
yeah. Of course, that was about as long as it took me to get in the office when I worked there in Atlanta too, every morning. Traffic made Houston look like it was out in the country.
Okay, so are we ready to go to our first guest?
Not yet. I gotta ask you. You're going to be going to that Savannah show, yeah?
Yeah, I'll probably ride with you.
Yeah, you're welcome to ride with me. I'm staying for a corporate meeting, for 2 corporate meetings afterwards, so I'm not coming back till the next weekend. But you're welcome to hang out with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying at my son's house. He's got a nice pit bull that'll snuggle up with you, at night.
Yeah. Okay.
So he'll make you feel really at home over
yeah.
there.
Okay. So, Motel 6, right?
We wouldn't do a Motel 6 for you, man.
Okay.
I say that. That used to be one of my corporate accounts. Good guys. That'll just be a fun show. There'll be cars again from all over the United States that come in. You might have some international people that come in. Like here at our show, we had people fly in, like 17 of them from Australia that all rented Mustangs, and that type of stuff happens at those national shows.
Yeah. And speaking of that, people who rent Mustangs to go to a Mustang show,
yeah, well,
they're entering their rental car.
Hey, I can only tell you what I've done at drag strips before.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that too. Yeah.
Not putting my car out there on my break.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else that we've got, I mean, the fall gets very busy for car shows.
Yeah, it seems like it really has right now, last couple of years.
So you've got to plan stuff well in advance. Getting to the carshowfund.com website, I think, keeps people more organized. A lot of these people that are still doing the paper and the judging on paper and stuff like that, they're really kind of at this stage of the game setting themselves behind. So people need to go at least check out that website.
At least, I mean, it's great to it has all the listings of all the car shows going on.
It does.
That's registered with carshowfund.com. And so, you may see a show that you didn't know was going on. Not too many people know that the best automotive in Kingwood is going on. It's not a really publicized car show.
Only, it seems like within the people that's
in that local area.
Yeah, that are familiar with Best.
Humble,
yeah.
Yep.
So you're familiar with it because you live over in that neck of the
Well, I used to
woods.
live in Kingwood, so it's something you knew. Every October there was going to be a car show there.
Yeah, what's the other one they have? Dr. something or another.
Yeah, it's the local dentist.
Yeah.
Dr. Scott.
But again, there's another show that's well received and everybody loves. So.
Yeah.
I think once we check out this segment, give some station recognition, then we come back, we'll be looking for our first guest, which will be a Zoom call from Sturgis.
Both of our guests are Zooms, right?
Right, but they're both from Sturgis, which is a live event that goes on right now. It started Thursday and goes through Sunday of this week. And our first guest is Jason Childress. First guest Frank Lawton. And he's the guy that actually was one of the organizers of the event this year. So,
is he one of the main organizers? That's one thing we need to ask. When did the Mustangs actually start going to Sturgis?
I think they I don't know. They started this probably about 8 years ago or so, 8, 9, 10 years.
Long?
Yeah, it's been that long. But he is one of the main organizers right now. He's also a Saleen owner.
Okay.
And that brings up another show that I don't think anybody's really aware of.
I do not have the information of the Austin Saleen show.
Well, that's Austin's the National next year. But this fall, there's one called CISA, and that's Saleen's Invade San Antonio.
Okay.
And it's held west of San Antonio at a little retreat, which is like way cool. It's at the bottom of a cliff. There's a river running through there, and it's set up for, it's a camp for kids, set up for people to go swimming in there and stuff. I don't have the date of that one.
We'll have to get with Pam on that, huh?
We'll get with Pam Parsons on that, and we will get more information. They're a fun group. If you want to have fun, there's a lot of Saleen people up in Sturgis right now, and I can promise you they're having fun.
Right.
So
Don't be breaking any arms or legs.
That was the last event in Branson about 3 weeks ago, Cliff Parsons.
That was Cliff. Yep.
That was Cliff breaking his wrist. That's right. All right, let's give a little station identification, and then we can come back here in just a second. This is Cruisin' Car Club Talk on Lone Star 104.5 and 106.1 FM. Or for those who may have wandered outside of our listening area, we can be streamed around the globe on irlonestar.com, YouTube, or Facebook.
And we'll be right back with our first guest.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruisin' Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruisin' Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
We are back, and appreciate you spending time to cruise in for Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. Who do we have as a guest this segment?
We have Jason. There we go. Turning my mic on. Jason Childress of Gateway Classic Mustang. How you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing good. We're going to discuss, you're overseeing the track events, autocross, open road courses, also drag racing.
So I'm overseeing all the autocross and the other events that they have. So they have what's called a rodeo, barrel racing, and drifting. So I oversee all of that. I don't do anything with the drag racing because that's my one day off while I'm out here.
Okay.
I'm also the announcer for them the whole week while we're out.
You got your brother Lonnie up there as well?
Yeah, Lonnie is up here. He's outside working now because we had so much going on.
Yeah. I looked at the schedule. It's busy. You guys have a lot this week.
So we're in Sturgis, South Dakota. So how's it like? What's it like out there?
Oh, man, it's beautiful. If you've never been out here, you've never come to this event, I highly suggest coming out here. It's worth the drive. We get to go see Mount Rushmore, drive through the hills. The roads out here and just the scenery is awesome. I travel all over the U.S., so we kind of get to see all kinds of different things. This is the only show that we leave the shop early, so we have 3 days to go do things that we want to do. Travel, go to Mount Rushmore. We went to Devil's Tower this year, which is the first time we've done that.
That's only an hour. It's less than an hour away, right?
Yeah, it's less than an hour, especially in a Mustang. We made it 45 minutes, I think, but we weren't speeding. I promise.
No, not you guys.
We went seeing Crazy Horse while we're out here last year. So every year we started with 3 cars the first year coming up early and going out with us. And this time we had, I think, 8 cars that were out with us while we were out doing the events and driving around. It just keeps growing because we keep telling people, hey, we're going to show up early so that we can have fun running around and doing the things that we want to do. And it's kind of cool because we work the event. So from about 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, we're out doing events, doing the stuff that we need to do. And so when we come in early, we actually get to go play and have some fun and drive our cars.
Sounds fun.
With how many of your closest friends up there? I mean,
Right.
You've got a lot of Mustang owners up there.
There's a ton of Mustang owners up here. But like I said, on our trip that we do before the event actually starts, we had somewhere about 8 cars doing it with us. We have people, we have our friends that came in from Texas that drove in early so they could come and do the driving experiences with us. Heather and Jason Brown. And then they brought 2 of their people with them. So like I said, it just keeps growing every year. We get more and more people that want to come up early and get more things and do more things with us. And later, after me, you'll hear from Frank Lawton, which is a guy that just walked in behind us.
Okay.
And Dan, they're in the next half an hour segment with you guys. They're who invented this whole thing. They live up here full time, and when you live up here full time, you still, I think, are in awe with how beautiful it is up here. And the one thing I've learned every time I come up here, we go down to Deadwood, and you look around and you see all of this, and I look at everything, and we have interstates that we drive on when we come out, but someone rode a horse and buggy and a wagon out here, and I'm pretty sure the women were tougher than the men are today.
I think you're right, because if you think back to that point in time, there were no paved roads. Those people were riding horses and riding those buggies, and there were no paved roads out there at the time.
There wasn't nothing out here other than field and wind.
Yeah, Mustangs.
If you've never been out here, the wind blows pretty much constantly. Right now we're like in 40-mile-an-hour gusts, but it's amazing out here.
Jason, I was up there 2 years ago. They opened a Hampton Inn over in Leeds, South Dakota, which is on the other side of Deadwood, and I did the electronic program guide and programmed the TVs up there. But, you know, I left Houston third week of May, get to Leeds, South Dakota, and it was 90 degrees when I left Houston, so I took shorts and one pair of long pants, a very light jacket. It snowed and was 29 degrees, and we're on top of a roof positioning a satellite system in this blizzard. It's an interesting place to go. It really is. But that was the end of May.
Yeah, we literally did the show. It might have been 4 or 5 years ago. We wrapped up the show, and it was 80, 90 degrees all week long. We just died because of the heat. On Monday, I think we left Monday morning. On Tuesday, they had 2 foot of snow.
Yeah. It's just the most interesting place. And then you find people out there that had lived there, had been there before you. And you go to the cemetery and you visit Wild Bill Hickok's grave, and Calamity Jane's buried right beside him. You know, those were the people that were there before we got there, right? You know, it's
all through school, I'm like, why am I paying attention to history? It's the stupidest thing ever. I hated history in school. And then when you start traveling, you come out to a place like this, and the history just smacks you in the face.
Right.
You start to realize how much American history really does mean, and how much that we do need to pay attention to what our history is, because everything goes full circle. It always comes back around. The history is always repeating itself.
Right.
And it's just amazing to me at my age now that history is important to me.
Yeah, that's pretty wild how that comes back around on you, isn't it? It's just like, oh, I remember some of this from school when I was daydreaming and getting screamed at by the teacher, you know.
Well, I had one teacher that told me I should take Spanish, and I was like, why? I'm never going to Mexico. And then when we raced monster trucks, we were in Mexico for a month, and I was like, yeah, Spanish might have come in handy. I don't know.
Hey, let me ask you a question about that, because it was either you or Lonnie, one of the two of you actually drove like the Bigfoot 2 monster truck, didn't you?
Well, my brother Lonnie drove Bigfoot. We also owned our own truck for 3 years, and then both of us went to work for Bigfoot. He stayed there. I left and just become like a hired gun. So I drove trucks like Barefoot, Bulldozer, Batman, and the most famous truck I drove was Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gravedigger.
That's talking about great history.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You were packing stands with 50,000, 60,000 people watching you drive those trucks. You know, and rolling them over. You know, I'm sure you rolled a few over.
I did. Lonnie is the only 2 drivers I've ever drove for Bigfoot that haven't wrecked trucks. One was Bob Chandler. The other one's Lonnie. He never rolled a truck over driving monster trucks. I can't say that.
So let me ask you, how did you guys get into to create Gateway Classic Mustang, and tell us what that is, what that business is about?
So before we got into monster trucks, we kept telling our dad that, hey, this Mustang thing's really starting to come to life. And this was late 80s, early 90s. And we kept saying, man, this Mustang thing really looks like it's taken off. Maybe we should look at opening up a business. And our dad looked at us and said, you guys are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that anyone's ever going to build these cars and it's going to mount to anything. So we're like, all right, well, we'll go race monster trucks then. So we did that. And as we were doing that, Lonnie found a 70 and I found a 69. And we started working on those and building those. And as we were building them, we had another guy that raced monster trucks with us that had a an exported Shelby convertible Mustang, and it was an Australian car. It wound up being shipped back to the U.S. He wanted us to do some work on it, so we did, and it kind of snowballed into the business that we have now. And now we work on anything Ford related. We work hand in hand with Ford, Shelby American, and we do a lot with the Mustang Club of America too, as far as running track events for them, helping them put on their events. It just, now we're the first company ever to put the Coyote motors into the vintage Mustangs. We have a way that we do it that we don't lose the structure of the front of the car, and taking out shock tires is a bad idea. So we do a strut conversion, keeps the shock tires, but we notch them. And that's our sister company, Gateway Performance Suspension, that does the suspension stuff. And we kept them separated for reasons that it helped us with having a manufacturing side and then a custom shop side.
Right.
So that you got into business with this, and it's done fairly well from what I've seen in the last few years. You guys are doing good there. But then you've also become very well known on putting on these events, these private track events. I was in Ozarks, Lake of the Ozarks, when you guys were running that event. But go ahead.
Awesome track, by the way.
Yeah, that's what everybody keeps saying. I never got away from the DJ booth over there. So, but tell us a little bit about putting on these events. I mean, safety is a big part of it, I know, and you guys are on top of that.
We created another company called Auto Experts. That company is 6 friends that came together and said, hey, we have opportunities to put these events on and help do it. So we made that company so that we can go out and try to help people enjoy their Mustang, because the one thing we see at the Mustang Club of America, it's a great club. They do awesome things, but they were sitting with their cars, not wanting to drive them. A good friend of ours, Steve McCarley, was one of the first presidents, was like, let's start driving our cars. Let's go do stuff. And then Jeff Mays, the president now, when he became president the first time, he kept that going. We kept doing track events. But the Mustang Club of America didn't really have a good team that could go to the events and put them on. So Jeff had asked us, hey, can you help? We had other events like the Sturgis Mustang Club or the Sturgis Rally that asked us, can you help do this? Because we don't have a big enough team to do it. So what we found is we can instruct people how to drive their cars, help them learn their cars, and also put on a safe event where we don't have guys going out on track and passing in the corners that we don't allow. We pass in the straightaways with point bys. We're very strict on making sure that they're following the rules and not doing something that someone could wind up wrecking their car or damaging their car. Now, to say that, people do make mistakes and they do wind up wrecking their car. But we tried to make sure that it's safe on our side of it, that we didn't do something that caused them to wreck their car. If there is an accident or something does happen, it's because the driver made a mistake, didn't follow our directions, or didn't follow what we asked them to do.
Operation error.
We always are trying to make drivers understand that Ford, Shelby, Roush, Saleen, all these guys, they're all racers. They all built the cars because they were racing and they wanted faster stuff and better stuff. And now we buy these cars and we sit around and we polish them. And I can understand if it's $1 million car, $500,000 car, great. That's fine. Sit there and do it. But if you have a 2024 Mustang GT, it's not a $500,000 car. It could be expensive for the person that bought it, but let's enjoy it. Let's go out. Let's see what the car can do. Let's walk them through what these cars are capable, because like I own a GT 500 and the car, for the most part, it makes a bad driver look good, a good driver look great, and a great driver look amazing. So these cars, the technology that's in them allows us to show people that the cars are much more capable of doing things than what they even think it is capable of doing. I have a lady, I know her last name's White. I cannot remember her first name. It's like Elaine or something like that. She's got a GT 500. She was at the Lake of the Ozarks. She was at Birmingham, and I've worked with her a couple times. She was also out at Kansas, I do believe, when we did the event out there. and the lady's, she's just amazing. You look at her and you're like, oh, this nice lady driving her car, and then she gets behind you and she's like, come on, let's go. And she keeps pushing me to go faster and faster, and our lead follows, and she's having a blast. And that is what we love more than anything. And then a lot of these events, we're bringing in youth, someone that's 14, 15, 16 years old, and we're putting instructors with them to teach them how to be a better driver. And I don't care if you want to go super fast on a road course or not, but what you learn is car control.
Right.
Car control, that's right.
Right, which they need very bad.
And everyone can use that when they're out on the road driving, because I don't know if y'all noticed it, but there's a lot of bad drivers out on the interstate nowadays.
Jason, when was the last time you were in Texas? We've got more than our share. Well, you've got the Browns up there and the Parsons up there and Steve Jones up there from Texas, so you know how bad it gets.
So, when I drive in Texas and I got my big rig, and I learned this when I was driving monster trucks, because we actually drove the semi to the event and everything. I call it the Texas swing. So most people use their blinker in any other state except for Texas. In Texas, you swing the back of the trailer 2 times and then you move on over.
Yeah, it's about right.
So, that's how I change lanes. Because if you gave the blinker, it was a heads up. Hey, I'm trying to get over there. And they're like, ooh, let me hurry up and get out of your way. I'll pass you real quick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a little different down here. So you in putting these events on, I noticed on the event list for every day that you've got driver meetings, and it's mandatory.
Yes.
You're going to attend that, or you're not going out on the course.
Well, great
100%.
idea.
100%. But we want to be able to tell them what we expect out of them. We also, because they're the past few years, they served alcohol out here, so we're making sure that no one's been drinking before they get in their car and they go out and do anything. We've actually had to tell people, I'm sorry, you can't do this because you had a beer. And they're like, it was 1 beer at lunch. And I'm like, I don't care. We can't have that on track because bad things will happen. So we just eliminated that. They all get a wristband. And if they go into the bar that we used to have out here or go someplace to get a drink, they cut it off, and then we know that they can't drive anymore.
Nice. So they've been unmarked, basically.
Yes. And it is very much like everyone. I've had one person I had to do that with, and he was very much like, oh crap, I forgot. I didn't realize that was tonight. And he was very much, hey, I'm sorry, that's fine. I'll pull my car out of line. I'm good to go. Like, I'm fine with it. So everyone understands that we got to run a safe program while we're out here and make sure that everyone's safe when they're doing it.
Yeah, it's you guys. I mean, you do this professionally, so this is you know what you're doing, and you're good teachers at bringing people off the couch. But that's the main goal, isn't it? To get them off the couch, because the cars, as somebody said, were built to be driven.
Butts in seat, we say.
Yeah, well, not only
Butts and
that,
seats. That's it.
you got these high performance cars, and a lot of people don't know how to handle these performance cars, and getting them on the track is a great way.
There's people going out and they're buying a dark horse, or they're buying a GT500, 760 horse right out of the box.
Right. They have no idea how to handle that car.
They have no clue. They buy a Celine, 800 horse. They buy a Shelby, 840 horse.
Right.
Whatever it is, they're buying all these cars. They have no clue how to drive it. So we're able to show them, here's how you can drive it and be safe driving it, which was always our main goal when we do this, is to help ensure that they're enjoying their cars, they're driving their cars, they're being safe with their cars.
Right.
And, we used to do Mustang Week. It was a great show, but 90% of all the videos where you see a car wrecking, I swear was filmed at Mustang Week.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Doing burnouts and crash.
Yeah.
And we push hard at the events that we're at, that let's do all that stupid stuff on a track event.
Right.
Let's leave it off the roads. We push that hard, even out here at the rally. We push it hard so that don't happen.
Yeah, and it's a great way to bring the young people in, because the last thing we want is this hobby dying out.
Right, right. I mean, we go do a show called NSRA, National Street Rod Association. There's more people riding around on scooters than there are people walking. So when we see that, we got to figure out how we're getting the youth into this. I mean,
that's right.
you ain't careful, you're going to get ran over by a scooter if it's a show. It's a great show. There's a lot of cool cars there, but even at that event, we're starting to bring in younger crowds because they want to come around the autocross and be part of the autocross.
That's great.
It is. Hey, Jason, we've got to get out of here for some station recognition. We appreciate you and very much at the last moment taking time to zoom in with us. You're out there in God's country, and we want you to enjoy some of that before it gets dark tonight. Although I'm sure after it gets dark, you're hanging out in one of the saloons up there, right?
Actually, no. So tonight, as soon as I walk out of here, I do a driver's meeting in 13 minutes for the rodeo tonight, right? Rodeo tonight. And it goes until the dark. We'll do national anthem. Me as the announcer, I get to say stuff that I can't usually say in front of other people, but I get to tell people how I feel about our politics, our military, and how great this country is, and that we, the people, run it, not the government. And we get to push that. So we get to go out and have fun, but we also are very patriotic while we're out here.
Yeah. And you're talking about rodeo. Do y'all have videos anywhere that we can see this? Do y'all have any on the...
I bet you Dan will take one tonight and send it to you.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
we'd love that.
Facebook page, I have it, but he'll be live streaming it. Dan Jacobson, he'll be live streaming it, so you guys can tag into that. But I'll see if he can't make sure you guys know where to find it.
Okay, we definitely will do that, and we'll see if we can't get on our Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll try to get that out. When the broadcast goes live too. So
cool. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having us.
Jason, thank you. How do people get in touch with you? What's the website for Gateway Classic?
So just gatewaymustang.com and gatewayperformancesuspension.com. We're on Facebook. We're on all the social media stuff.
And then what about for the driving events?
For the driving events, we list them on our website as well, but autoexperts.com.
Okay, autoexperts. And people got to understand, autocross is recognized as the Auto X, but autoexperts.com.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, we thank you again.
We got really technical with that name.
Yeah, you did.
You guys had a few beers with that one, didn't you? Good chance, anyhow. Hey, thank you again for taking time with us and for zooming in. Tell your brother Lonnie we said hello, and we'll get this on the air and make sure you get a copy of it when it airs.
I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Take care, Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we're ready to go to station ID here.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk to Frank, who's at Sturgis also.
All right.
The organizer of Sturgis Mustang Rally.
All right. Well, this is Cruisin' Car Club Talk on 104.5 and 106.1 FM. Or for those Globetrotters out there, we can be streamed anywhere on earth at irlonestar.com, on Facebook, or on YouTube. I'm Randy, and this guy...
Robert Helmer, and we'll be right back with our second guest.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Welcome back to Cruisin' Car Club Talk. Our guest this segment, we've got two gentlemen on here. We've got Frank Lawton and we've got Dan Jacobson. And these guys are the organizers, or a couple of the organizers of the Sturgis Mustang Rally. That's right, up in Sturgis, South Dakota. And Robert, I'll let you take over from here for a second.
I just wanted to ask, when did y'all get involved? What year? How many years have you been doing this?
This is our 18th year.
18th year, okay.
18th year, yes.
So you were the first ones?
Yeah, what it was is basically my wife and I were up here for the motorcycle rally, which is a big deal. And shortly thereafter, we were walking down Main Street and things started to close up. And I'm looking around and I'm saying, boy, what's going on here? It's a small town and it's closing up the stores because the motorcycles rally's over. So I said, well, you got to come up with a few ideas and present it to them. So I did. I gave them a business plan for Mustang Rally, Camaro Rally, Bronco, all these different events. And they asked me, which one do you think would take off and work the best? And I said, the Mustang Rally.
And why did you think that?
Well, looking at the numbers, when I did the research on how many were made, still in production,
Right.
unlike the Camaro, they were in and out, and what have you. Plus,
He's trying not to mention Camaro.
Right. Well, we all try to not do that. Okay.
Anyway, that's how it all started.
And then, what was the first one like? I mean, how big was the crowd? What did y'all have?
Well, Dan's
right after this guy come up with the idea to do the Mustang Rally, our family had the Ford dealership in Sturgis for a couple generations, and so they stopped by us to get some sponsorship money. And after sitting with these guys, the first meeting, I'm like, this is the room I need to be in. You know, with some really influential people here in Sturgis and good businessmen, and I was a little younger, a little less gray, and had more hair at the time. But I thought, what a great group of people to just be around and learn from. And it's blossomed into a family since then. And it's been a group of us for many, many years now since the first one. So
that's great.
How many people do you think you had show up this year?
This year,
yeah.
So the first year was 160. That was our total. They told us that we'd only get about 40.
Yep.
You had how many?
160.
160. Okay.
Then we doubled it the next year and doubled it again, and then it's in. Well, we're priding on now. I think we're right at about 300 cars here already, and it's Wednesday.
Well, we had 300 pre-registered, which is higher than normal, and it almost doubles that at the actual rally. So
we started this thing, and it was a 2-day event. Then it was a 3-day event. Now it's a week long. We have people here that were here last Saturday and are staying through Monday. You know, so it's becoming a week long thing.
It's good for business for the town. I mean,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, hotels are full, the restaurants are full, all the shops that Frank mentioned before that were boarded up and closed for winter, they do some of their best business this week.
That's great.
When I was up there 2 years ago working on that Hampton Inn up in Lead, I went over to Sturgis, and yeah, you're right. I mean, at night, pretty much. I mean, you might have a little crowd in one of the restaurants, but there's not that many people in there. Nobody downtown really. Pretty vacant.
Yep. Well, and we've kind of turned the narrative on Sturgis. It was just a quiet little Midwest town, right?
Until the motorcycles got there, right?
Until the motorcycles, you know, and that comes and it goes, and it is what it is. You know, we just celebrated the 4th year with that a couple weeks ago, and you know, it's not going away. It's a huge event. It's one of the biggest things in South Dakota. But how we've brought the Mustang and what we've done with this group of people in this event in town, it's turned Sturgis into a rally town. We helped them get the Camaro rally started in town. They have a Cushman rally that comes in, an ATV rally. There's 5 or 6 of them that go on during the summer, including ours, and then we're adding another one here in a month. But the town can just operate seamlessly.
Off a
we're
tourist.
adding a couple thousand people to town right now, and they don't even have to staff up. They can handle it all, and it's easy peasy. So yeah, we've turned it into a rally town, and it's a whole summer long thing.
That's great.
Well, with this event, what all events do you have going on in the week long window that you've got when people are
really
there?
trying to keep everybody occupied for a week? That's got to be a big job.
Well, it was always a challenge, and Jason was talking about how beautiful the place is, and everybody wants to come here and go see the sights, right? They want to see the Mount Rushmore and drive Iron Mountain Road and Pink Cabin Road and
Crazy Horse,
and do all the sights, and so one day we do a cruise through the northern hills, the Spearfish Canyons, and then the next day, the Friday, we send them down through Custer to Mount Rushmore and all that. Give them plenty of time to go see the sites. If they want to, they don't have to. But then there's a bunch of people like Jason, like, we got to race. We got to race. We got to
Right.
get here a race. I'm like, all right, well, let's just do it at the same time. So we run 2 events simultaneously every day, all day, except for the show and shine.
Right.
And that's more of a party than it is a show and shine. But yeah, we keep everybody entertained. And some years the people come and they want to just do the cruises, and that's a whole experience in itself. The next year they want to come and race, and that's a whole experience from themselves. So they're coming here and they can mix and match, and it's not the same rally for them ever.
There's only one day you're going to sit there and look at a car. The other 6 days you're going to drive it.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
we're
we're
here to
pushing.
drive.
You're here to drive it.
Well, and I think people don't understand the beauty of that area. They talk, what's the name of the mountains out there? The something hills, the
Black Hills.
Black Hills. You really don't until you go there. I don't think you can grasp how beautiful it is up there. You talked about going over to Spearfish and the canyons over there. If you drive just a little bit further, you can get into Montana and drop down in Wyoming and see Devil's Tower, which is seen on the movie E.T. And other movies. You go south and you're at Mount Rushmore and you're down where Crazy Horse is, and then you've got the lakes and then not to mention the roads. I mean, just driving down the hill from Lead to get into downtown and back up, it's all windy and twisty and pretty much everything there. You've got to go there, and I don't honestly think it's been well marketed. Do you? I mean, as far as like when you go to school, you study it, but there's nothing afterwards that really drives you to go out that way. I don't think.
People don't know what all's out there, I
Good
guess.
from anywhere, but there's 500,000 bikes that show up every year.
There is that, yeah, and they're ravenous about it, aren't they?
Yeah, it used to be the journey to get here, but now they have a little more dependable transportation, so it's more how that they get here.
As long as they had that ball peen hammer and the crescent wrench, right? Do what, Frank?
I say if you head east, you got the Badlands.
Yeah, you do.
Driving
And
across the prairie, and all of a sudden you're on the lunar surface.
I mean, when I was up there, I didn't
The Black Hills.
I didn't even think about going a little further east. I really didn't when I was there.
You got to see the Badlands. It's fantastic.
It's crazy.
You hear about it, you see it in movies, documentaries, stuff like that.
So it's a little bit for everybody. You definitely have family time. You got things you can go see with the family. And then you can also, for the drag racer, the track guy, he has his track time. You can combine that all in 1 week.
Yep.
Well, and I saw a video on Facebook yesterday of Cliff and Pam Parsons riding up something on the side of a mountain. It looked like it was a slide going down and around, and I don't even know what that thing is or where it's at up there.
Yeah. Do we even know if they've even made it up there?
Oh, they're there.
They're there?
I'm sure the whole town knows they're there.
Yeah.
Cliff hasn't broken his other wrist, has he?
Who's that?
Cliff Parsons.
Does he still have his in the cast?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's one guy with a cast. Yeah. They're in their Celine.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's a long story, but they were at the Celine Nationals a couple of weeks ago, and Cliff fell off a big trike and broke his wrist. So
Ouch.
Yeah. Really partiers.
But you've got a few of those that showed up from across the country, didn't you, at this event? Partiers?
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story, too, maybe changing it a little bit, but on the drag strip that we have, first year we didn't have many cars come down and do the drag strip or the autocross. So we started to think about how the heck do we get all these people that like to watch to get out there and drive? So he said, well, we'll take the poker run. They'll go down the drag strip, get their first stamp, then go over to the autocross track, go through that race.
You're going to put them on there.
Well, guess what? It goes from 12 cars to 112 cars because all of a sudden you got the fear of trying something new out of the way because they weren't racing. They were just going to drive the course.
Right.
Not a big deal. And here's one thing. I was out there directing traffic, and it was a early 60s Mustang frame off restoration, an older couple, well up in their years, older than I am, and they were coming up for the poker run to go down the track. And she's all upset. He's not going to race this car, and he's not going to do this, and he's not going to do that. I said, ma'am, it's okay. It's okay. What do you do when the light turns green? You go. Okay. When that light turns green, you guys go. You go as fast or as slow as you want to go. That's all you got to do.
Right.
And when you're at the end of the track, the young lady down there is just going to stamp your card, and you go on. Oh, I didn't want to tell them they're going to the autocross next. But anyway, so they were arguing. Finally, he had to tell her, will you stop, honey? Let's just do that. Now you got to convince him to put a helmet on because it's a rule. Oh, she ain't going to do that either. But she did. So finally, some young guy gets alongside, and he's doing the burnout, and he's doing all the good stuff. And they're sitting there looking at it going, oh, geez. So the light comes down, and the kid takes off like heck. And the guy takes off nice and slow, goes about 25 feet and floors it. I said, well, good for him. He's enjoying himself.
Right.
A couple of cars later, I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's the old guy. And he goes, hey, Sonny, can we do that again? But fear was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it grew.
Well, that's actually the majority of it, is it? The fear and overcoming the fear, getting people, what I call getting them off the couch.
Yeah.
But once you do it, once they get that behind them, they're open to almost all this stuff.
They're hooked.
They're hooked.
You know how wound up they are to leave and go do a poker run through the Black Hills, through all those tight corners and mountain roads after we just sent them down the drag strip? The adrenaline is just going.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they're
That
hooked
first
on it.
50 miles, they're driving.
Now you can't get them off.
Yeah, what other events? I mean, do you have dinners and stuff like that up there? I didn't get a chance to read through everything you sent me, Frank.
Gotcha. So we're tonight we got the rodeo, and then we have a little party downtown at one of the big bars. Tomorrow, Thursday, we start out. Jason's got a test and tune, so anybody that wants track time on the autocross, they can come sign up for that. They tech out the cars, and they got all day. With a little bit of help, they can grab an instructor, ride along with them, whatever. And they got all day for autocross. We also do a poker run through the Northern Hills tomorrow. And then everybody's favorite, we have, is it Launch Box tomorrow night?
Launch box.
Which is the 60-foot drag race. Just the
Start
time.
and stop.
Start and
60
stop.
foot.
60 feet. Yep,
Yep.
60 foot. And we get 70, 80 people doing that.
Yep.
And then after that, it's everybody's favorite, the burnout competition.
Yeah, I
So
saw you had that.
That's a hoot. And then right after that, we do a great big drive-in movie thing, billboard right outside on the building. And so everybody can hang out here till about 10, 11 o'clock. Watch
What's playing,
watch
Dan?
I haven't decided yet. I always go to Ford versus Ferrari. It's my fallback.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The only time of the year I watch it, and it's a thing.
So are you selling tires at the burnout contest?
There's people that bring in tires just for that.
Just for that.
Fire truck here and all that, and we've had to use the fire truck a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Friday we start the autocross. That runs all day long. And we also do the Southern Hills Poker Run. Custer shuts down their main street. Deadwood shuts down theirs tomorrow, and they park down there, and it's a great time. And then we have barrel racing Friday night. And then we have professional drifters that come in and put on a hell of a
Barrel
show.
racing, horses, right? Mustangs, horses.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
And yeah, these guys are pretty good. They drift the barrels, and it's fun watching them do things that they normally wouldn't get to do.
That they
Right.
love to do, but they can't do it anyplace else.
Yeah.
Where do they do that at? Do you have a big parking lot or something out there?
Right out here, right on the Thunderdome property, we do 90% of the events right out here.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Is that on concrete or dirt
It's concrete and asphalt.
and asphalt?
Yep. So
So
then
you-
Saturday, of course, it's our big show and shine downtown Sturgis. Everybody loves parking on the same place all the bikes get to park, right?
Right.
Man, I saw a picture of that. How do you
Yeah.
get those cars parked? Because there's barely enough space for like 3 people to walk beside each other going down that street.
I know it's fun. It's fun. So I'll park about 500 cars. I start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they all have to be parked by 10 a.m. One of the other founders, Texas always used to play football, and they kicked off at 10 a.m. and he had to be at the game
Of course.
on the TV to watch. So by God, we still do that. He passed a few years ago, and that was one of the things we still stand on. We have to have everybody parked by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I guess once you're parked, you're stuck, right? No.
Well, yeah, these guys come to me because I'm the Ford guy and say, "Hey, you're running the car show." I'm like, I didn't tell them I've only been to one car show in my life, and that was I was like 12. So my car show that we put on, but
good job.
yeah, we got 500 cars down there, roughly. We got a band going. We got a live auction. We sell a few cars. The city does open containers, so people can walk around with their Bloody Marys in the morning and enjoy. And yeah, we got our own beer for the Mustang Rally.
Oh, I saw that you got a dark horse beer.
Yeah, we do a new one every year.
Our car this year.
Well, we got a dark horse, so we had to make a dark horse beer.
Every year they build a special car for us.
Yep. We started that first year, and this will be the 18th car that we auction off just for the rally itself.
Is that a new car that you're auctioning?
Yep, brand new
Nice.
dark horse, got 10 miles on them, I think.
Oh wow, it is a dark horse, huh?
Steve Saline's built some cars for us. Shelby's done a
Yep,
good job. Yep.
What's the price tag on that dark horse?
71, I believe it is on the window.
71.
I think that's what it is on the window.
It looks like you are in an RV. Is there? So you
Yeah,
have
we're-
plenty. You have plenty of RV places for people to bring their RVs.
Right here,
absolutely.
right on property.
Yep, right on property.
That's great.
You got cabins, RV, you name it, we got it.
Okay.
So for
So
anybody,
going back to the parade, right after the show and shine gets done, we line everybody up for a parade through Sturgis, which is great. The whole town comes down to see it, and we trick them all to get them to the drag strip. We end the parade at the drag strip, so they all got to pull in.
if for people that are watching this that may be interested in going next year, what kind of tips do you have for them? I'm assuming like get your hotel now.
Yep, book early.
Book early and plan to get here and just enjoy it. Get here early and
Don't rush out.
Yep. Don't wait for the last couple of days. The first few are the most fun. So.
Well, I know driving up there from Houston, it was a 2-day drive for me to get up there. I think I overnighted in Wichita or something, but that was a lot of nonstop driving.
Get across your state.
Pardon me?
When you get across Texas, you're halfway here.
Oh yeah. That's one day right there, right?
Yeah, we joke you're halfway there once you get out of Texas.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, we got about every state represented.
In 7 countries.
7 countries.
7 countries.
So, yep.
We had a guy here from South Africa one year.
Yeah.
But there was one girl from Germany. She'd come over and drift with us up until the COVID years.
Yep.
She'd come over every year, driving a Celine.
Driving a Celine.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, my understanding, Frank, is you have a Celine. Is that right?
Yeah. Actually, yep.
What do you have?
I've got it. It's a 17. It's running in at 800 horsepower.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
guy's
more than mine. I've got a 2000.
Yeah, he's got a Celine.
Yeah,
so.
the 4.6. It's nowhere near that kind of horsepower.
What about you, Dan?
Well, right now I'm in between cars.
And you work for a Ford dealer?
Not anymore. Nope,
Oh, not anymore.
No,
Okay.
But I had a 99 Celine. That's what kind of got me hooked. And, I built a few. And when we had the store, I always had a few laying around there. So, but I've grown up a Bronco guy.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed the hills that nobody gets to see, up in the trails and the rocks. A lot of great rock crawling. Some of the most technical rock crawling in the country is just right up here out our back door.
Yeah, once again, unless you go up there, I don't think you understand what the area is actually like. You've got to see it. You've got to understand the beauty of it. You've got to be there to understand it. So.
It is. We're very fortunate to live where we live. And
That's Dan's next venture is the Bronco.
we talked each other into starting a Bronco rally, so we're starting that in 1 month.
1 month.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. There should be plenty up there because they're selling pretty good.
Oh, they are, and you know the early Broncos. There was a lot of those around this part of the country.
Yeah.
There was, you know, every rancher had one or two of them. So
Robert,
We're fortunate enough to have somebody that backs us that's going to build a course for us.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean that having somebody that backs it and believes in it, you know, that's going to build it and grow it significantly, right?
Yep.
So,
I think
All
our
right.
wives were very happy that we got started in a whole new venture, but
well,
they're
you guys,
living with us. aren't they?
you guys probably didn't have enough to do to begin with, so.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us and zooming in. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Great, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking time, especially last minute like you did. So I appreciate you both being on here and wish
Gonna
you a
walk
really
out the door
successful.
and jump right into it. So
Well, we wish you a really successful event up there, guys.
thank you very much, guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
watch us on YouTube. You'll see it on Facebook.
We will do
Yeah.
that.
We'll look forward to seeing it.
Follow us on our Facebook page, Sturgis Mustang Rally, and I'll be out there running live video. You probably get to hear me more
Well-
loud. So
Look forward to that. What's your website?
SturgisMustangRally.com.
All righty. So
Right.
SturgisMustangRally.com.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks much, guys.
Take care. All right, Robert. I think that's it for this episode.
That's it. And thank you guys for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And see us next time here at Cruisin Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy.
Yep. And we've still got Dick Schischler locked up over in the safe room. Back there behind the protective glass. He's our sound engineer and producer. We are broadcasting from the studios of Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 and 106.1 FM and streaming worldwide on irlonestar.com, on Facebook, and on YouTube.
Yeah. And see us on Facebook and tell us how you like the show. Really appreciate that. Thank you.